Hello everyone, and today I'm going to talk you through the best way that you can find an SEO service. Okay, so there is a need for this because there are a lot of companies offering SEO services and other related website and internet services. It's a very flooded market. There's a lot of people doing it. So there's good and there's bad, just like in every industry. So how is what are some tips in order to get the right company for you? And that's what I'm going to talk about today. So first of all, let's talk about the companies to avoid. Okay, so what you see a lot in advertisements is, quote, I will get you onto the first page of Google. Okay, so that rings alarm bells for me. And the reason it does is because what does that mean? I will get you on the first page of Google. On the first page of Google for what? Okay, because, the reason you got to be careful is because, these guys can actually achieve that very, very easily with no effort whatsoever, just on your domain name, the keyword that's in your domain name, your company name, right? Okay, so whatever your company name is, chances are, if you're the only company named that name, all right, then of course you're going to get the position one spot, or at least page one, as long as your site's indexed. So it's very easy to achieve. Okay, so different keywords have different competition levels and different difficulty levels to rank. All right, so I will get you on the first page of Google. It's far too vague, and it will tell it's you need to be more specific. All right, so that's the first thing. Okay, and the next thing is I'll give you a zillion backlinks. Okay, so not quite worded exactly like that, but you see advertisements all the time that say, and they entice you in because they're usually quite cheap. Like you can get like 5,000 backlinks or 10,000 backlinks. Now, once upon a time in the old days, that would have worked quite well to rank you in Google, but things have changed as they do, with Google algorithms and what have you, and now like backlinks need to be done with care. They need to be very relevant, very contextual, on quality sites. So now it's more about quality rather than quantity. So, but yet still, even though that is the case, there's still a lot of companies offering you large quantities of backlinks to your website. So the reason to avoid this is because it could, in the long run, cause your website more harm rather than good, so far as like your favor with Google is concerned. All right, so the next thing is a poor website analysis. So usually what will happen is, when you're in talks with a company about utilizing their SEO services, the first step is that they're going to want to do like what's called a website audit or an analysis. Okay, so like there's, what they tend to do, what a lot of them tend to do is just like literally run your URL through a checker, which takes like 2 seconds, and then you get a full PDF report where it itemizes all the problems and all the bits and pieces. Now, that's good, and I use that too. It's quite useful, but there needs to be more than that. All right, it needs to have a human eye, right? So, is their report like really personal to your business and your website? Has there obviously been a human professional eye looking over your website page by page? And is the report presented in such a way that you can tell that they've actually taken some time to sit down and look page to page and come up with recommendations that cannot be computer generated? Okay, so the next thing is we're going to talk about what to ensure. Right, what are the things that we need to ensure when looking for an SEO company? Okay, so we've already mentioned, have they looked at your site with human eyes? Okay, so do they want to discuss your keyword strategy? Surprisingly, I've in the past dealt with SEO companies. They never really bring up about what keywords you're using and what keywords they suggest they use. There's no keyword research done whatsoever. What you got to realize is that SEO is everything to do with keywords, right? That's the be all and end all, right? Because it's all about, SEO is about search engine ranks. And, it's not, yes, your website is ranked on a search engine, but it's ranked because of the keywords that is typed into the search bar. Yeah, so make sure that there is discussion about your keywords. And very important, I believe, is that is this company you're dealing with, is their first language your language of, or the target, your website is targeting a country, right, that speaks a language. So, for example, if you're in the UK, you've got a UK company and your target market is the UK, or maybe it's the UK plus other English-speaking countries, maybe the US, Australia, Canada, So the company you're dealing with, are they like fluent in your target language? Is it their first language? Now, the reason this is important is because SEO is all about content. There's so much content. There's so much writing involved. So much submitting of descriptions and there's articles. That's a big part of it. Content marketing is a big part of it. And one of the most important things for Google is quality content. Grammar and spelling errors will drag you down. They'll drag your rankings down and your website down. So that is very important. If you're working with a foreign company, you might be enticed by the fact that they have cheap prices, but look at their ability to write in your language, because that's very important. Okay, so have they itemized their proposed activity? So, if you've got a company that are proposing to do SEO, so they're like basically, okay, so yeah, I'll do SEO for you, and it will be this much per month, price-wise. Well, what is their proposed activity? What exactly are they going to do? It needs to be itemized. You need to know what work you are getting done in return for your money. Okay? And what is their reporting system? I believe that this is the most important. Okay, so, basically, if you're working with a good, legit company, they're not just going to leave you hanging, leave you guessing, I think these guys are doing a good job. No, they need to give you a periodic report, be it monthly, quarterly. Monthly is best. Some offer it like every 2 weeks or every week, but monthly is good enough because, otherwise the data is not going to change very much from week to week or fortnight to fortnight. So at least on a monthly basis, there needs to be a report. Now, what should that report compose of? Well, it could be like analytics, just, basic data from Google Analytics, showing you where the traffic's coming from, what keywords they've come from. The most important thing that is relevant to SEO is something called a SERPs report, SERPS. Okay, so what that does is it tells you exactly where your website ranks per keywords that you're working towards ranking, right? So whatever your keywords, you may be working for 10 or 50 or 100 keywords, and you want to report every month that tells you where does that keyword, where is it placed in Google search results? Because that's the only way you're going to measure the success and know if you're getting, if you're moving in the right direction. Okay. So also, do they have case studies and references? They should, because, you can talk the talk. I mean, you could be dealing with a company that talks the talk and they're very good at convincing you to utilize their services. But, what have they done? How have they, you want to see basically a new start website that they've taken on board and then they've made it a very busy website with a lot of traffic, but targeted traffic, and that a set of keywords has moved up the ranks over a period of time. Okay, so can they present that to you in a case study format, and are they willing to divulge at least some websites that they've worked on that you can then go to the contact page and contact those people and say, hey, you were getting an SEO service from so and so. Were you happy with that? Because I'm thinking about doing it too. If they were happy and they got a good service, they'll be more than pleased to recommend you. Okay, so the next thing is, are they too cheap or too expensive? Okay, I've noticed that you get great extremes out there. You get companies that are too cheap. If they're too cheap, be suspicious, because SEO is a very time-consuming ordeal. If it's done right and it's not like done sloppy and with automated systems that you know, just quick and what have you, then it's going to be cheap. All right. Real SEO done right, it's going to take some time, and people are going to be working hard on it, and so they're not going to be too cheap. Okay, so you don't want to pay too cheap. You want to pay a reasonable price, but on the other hand, there are companies that are way too expensive. So, you don't have to go way too expensive. It's not necessary. So, just find the balance. All right. So, how is the progress measurable? This is all to do with the reporting. All right. You need to make sure that you're getting that report so that you can measure and track the success. And so there's just a few tips in regards to looking for an SEO company. So, these tips will hopefully save you, because it's unfortunate that there are some bad companies or bad individuals, usually individuals out there, that are like taking people's money and running, or, whatever, or doing a really bad job. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful.